Greetings and salutations. I hope everyone's having themselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the YouTube things. And I just want to say thank you guys a lot for the support that you guys showed on that last Pokemon video. I was a little worried that I would just get a bunch of hate and negative comments about me kind of like being critical of Pokemon, but I would honestly argue that 90% of the comments were civil, added to the discourse, and made me think and see certain things that I had not considered when I was making the video. The truth of the matter is, usually when I make a video, I will at least think about it or jot down some bullet points. But sometimes I'm inspired in the moment and I just hit record and I start yapping. That was a yap video. And there's one thing I want to clarify. A point that I didn't actually finish making, which was hilarious when I listened back to that video. And thirdly, something that I think that I kind of made a mistake on, not that I didn't make more than one that I want to speak about, but thank you for all the views, the likes, the comments, everything, the subscriptions. I've shot up subscribers. It's crazy. And I'm just not accustomed to this much attention very quickly, or the algorithm, I guess, is boosting me. So just give me some time to catch up and acclimate myself to everything that's going on. But yeah, it was great. And thank you for the discourse. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is a point that I did not finish when I made the video. And I'm like, well, what the hell is wrong with me? And it was about wanting a good Pokemon game. This is not fair to Pokemon fans. And this is one of those things where, like, I understand that in my head, I'm probably acting self-important and elevating my own importance. But I believe that the best way to make a company kind of fall in line with what fans want and online chatter is to affect them monetarily, the bottom line. But I do also know that for some franchises in some situations, if you do that, they'll just stop making stuff or stop making games. Like, oh, you guys wanted the Legend of Zelda movie, we made one, it flopped, you'll never get one again. And like, that's like a possibility. Not the best example, but you kind of get what I'm trying to get at. And I feel like I'm being punished as somebody who actually does want a new, innovative, genuinely great, majestic masterpiece of a Pokemon game, because everyone else refuses to like kind of hold the line, not pay, not give them their money and attention, and be like, nah, we're gonna punish you guys, we're gonna hurt your wallets so that you'll fall in line. And that's not fair, but that is how I feel. So I wanted to get that point across. The second thing that I didn't mention, and I don't know how I didn't mention this, is that this is a self-incestuous industry, and most industries are. What I mean by that is copy and paste, monkey see, monkey do. Part of the reason that I care about it and I want us to use more discernment with where we put our money and attention and focus into is because other companies are watching. If you think Sony, Microsoft, Sega, EA, Ubisoft, whatever, is not watching what Nintendo, Game Freak, and the Pokemon Company are doing and getting away with, and concocting schemes and machinations in their own minds to get away with a lot of nonsense because of their corporate greed, trust me, they're over there doing that, crunching numbers and trying to find out how Pokemon's getting away with it and how they can get away with it, which is why I think it behooves us to be careful where we put our money. And I think I did make a lot of assumptions about Pokemon fans, which wasn't necessarily fair, right? I was speaking from personal experience, my anecdotal evidence from friends, family, online friends, and the discourse that I've had with Pokemon people online, and the general kind of clapback that I get. But perhaps that's the vocal loud minority. There are Pokemon fans of all types, and it's weird because I mentioned this in the last video, but I didn't think about it. This is a multimedia franchise. There are games, spin-off games, card games, all type of paraphernalia and merchandising, from plushies to toys to keychains, stickers, posters, all of that. Anime and manga. I'm sure there's a light novel. The music. Like, some people, though they play the games or like the games, they're just into Pokemon as a franchise in the general sense. The mobile games perhaps also. Like, I didn't consider that, and that wasn't fair. You might just be a person like, I don't even really play them, I just watch the anime, I collect some plushies, and that's kind of like how I like Pokemon. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of highlight all the major blind spots that I had, and like highlight that I made a mistake there and I should have maybe not assumed a lot of the things that I assumed. because like one comment said, you're assuming a lot of Pokemon fans don't know about other monster tamer games, and I'm like, well, in my experience, when I bring up something like Koromon or Nexomon or Monster Sanctuary or Monster Crown or Rizimon or whatever the case may be, what's that one game, Beastie Ball, which is pretty cool, they look at me sideways and they're like, what is this Pokemon copy, Pokemon clone? Like, they just, and I get it. Remember that I'm a Paper Mario guy. When I first kind of saw other Paper Mario likes, if you will, or spiritual successors, clones, I was like, it took me a while to come around, because I just thought that maybe you were trying to copy something. But no, you were simply inspired by something. That thing's not particularly being made anymore. You know there's a market for it, so you filled that void. And I just wanted to highlight those things. So with that, I think I've kind of covered a lot of what I wanted to say in that vein, and then I wanted to basically kind of talk about the main points people made in the comment section, like the main talking points, whether that was, you know, toward like good, bad, somewhere in the middle, you're just generally indifferent, because again, I found that about 90% of the comments were very insightful, and we were trying to find a lot of common ground, whether or not you do like Pokemon, you don't like Pokemon, you never played Pokemon, you're somewhere in the middle or indifferent, which was really cool to see, which I didn't expect, because honestly, it's the internet. Like, the internet is insane, and I just didn't expect us to come and calmly have this nice, respectful discourse. So I want to thank you guys again for that. Some of you were dickheads though. As a quick aside, I'm not going to milk this, by the way. I know usually when a channel has a lot of momentum, you're supposed to ride it, milk it, and just make the content that kind of blew up and kind of try to stay in that vein. And the truth be told, I could have done that many times during my content creation career, like on my other channel where I covered Tower of God, Kubera, One Piece mostly, where I remember when solo leveling dropped and I like kind of made a solo leveling video. It was like the first video I ever made. I got like 5 digits, but I didn't follow up on it because I said everything that I had to say and I moved back to what I want to talk about. So I'm not going to grift or become a monster tamer channel or anything of the sort. So just keep that in mind. But I do think I make a lot of really dope, cool content. Some that's already on the channel and some that I'm going to be making, like that Cassette Beast video. Mental health was something that came up a lot in the comment section. And not necessarily people who are afflicted like naturally with the chemical imbalance, but life has beaten them down. Millennials who don't have much in their life. They don't have kids, they don't have family, they don't have a big community of friends in real life, and Pokemon just takes them back to a very simple time where life was good, life was, you know, peaceful, and it just gave you joy. I've even seen a few comments of people saying they lived a very tumultuous childhood and the only sense of peace they ever really got was playing Pokemon. And I suppose it's kind of hard to detach yourself from that, because if you guys don't know this from a psychology standpoint, childhood trauma will resurface in childhood if it's not properly dealt with and things like that. I'm not saying you guys are all traumatized or whatever. My point is that would be hard to let go, and I could understand that. And one that I found very fascinating is there was a commenter, and the reason I'm not necessarily putting you guys on the screen, if you think I should next time, I'll do that. It's because I don't know that you want that attention. And maybe if you made a comment that someone doesn't like, I don't want you to get attacked on the channel or whatever the case may be. But if you think it's better to put the comment exactly that I'm referring to next time, let me know. But they brought up autism. Apparently, like, there's a study or something out there, a survey where a lot of people who like Pokemon are on the spectrum. If you guys don't know, I actually am a high functioning autistic person with a little bit of ADHD, but I'm high functioning. It doesn't really like I'm one of those people who just like the same thing over and over for forever, which is kind of funny because I'm talking about breaking away from that, and it's not easy for me as well, which is why I think anyone can do it, but it's just not an angle that I was aware of or thought about. And I actually have a little cousin who's really into Sonic, Kirby, and Pokemon, who is very autistic, and she's about like 18, 19 today, and yeah, like it's just a thing that she just gravitates to no matter what and still loves, and that's an angle that I also did not consider. Now this one is something I didn't bring up, which I should have thought of, but I'm not letting them off the hook for this one, because this one to me is a little bit lame. Now, I understand wanting to have some type of notoriety and impact and clout, if you will, on the digital spaces, whatever you're on, whether you're a TikTok person, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whatever combination of all of those things. I don't know what else people are really on, Kick, Twitch, but what I wanted to say is some people really do make like being a Pokemon fan or a Mudkip fan or or Ghost type trainer their entire online personality or real life personality. They've garnered a following based off of that. So if they deviate from that in any capacity, it's not good for their brand, so to speak. I think it's a little bit lame. I think you should just be true to who you are. You're allowed to like what you want to like. And I actually always argue that if being a quote unquote fan or good fan of something is an important title to you, I think good fans hold their favorite things feet to the fire if it's not kind of up to par. When Paper Mario, I think, decreased in quality, I was vocal about it. I didn't just accept any and all things because I think a real fan wants this product or a product to be the best it can possibly be, and thus wouldn't be afraid to critique it. You don't gotta be nasty about it. You don't gotta be like me. Like me, sometimes I'll be like, that's ass, trash, garbage, throw it away. Ew. Like, you don't gotta be me. There's a way to do it in an intellectual and constructive manner. You get what I'm saying? So for people who make it their online persona or personality, you're not really off the hook, but that's another thing that I think does happen for sure. The millennials with no kids thing is also interesting to me. I think I brought it up a little bit earlier, but I wonder if sometimes just having no family or real community will have you gravitate to something like Pokemon. Or by the way, Pokemon's not the only thing that does this. Like people who play like 2K every year or Call of Duty, like you guys are in the same vein. I just not as annoying to me as Pokemon fans tend to be. And then the gameplay is king, people, which I actually fall into. I don't care if a video game has story is great or has the most cutting end graphics. Oh my god, I can see the individual hair fibers in each pore on this character. That's cool. That's fly. And I'm saying if that's what you want to do with motion capture and things of that nature, go for it. Make that the most photorealistic game you want to make. But I like sprites. I like hand-drawn animation. I like stuff like Cuphead, bounce and stretch. Like, that's more my style. But I care about this button feel good to press and play. Even if the story just goes, I have to find my sister, and the game just starts and I know nothing else, like, I'm cool. Like, is it fun? Is it a good gameplay loop? Yes, I'm here for it. I like that. So Pokemon gets a lot of critique for its aesthetic and visuals and presentation, which I think is well deserved, but I can understand why a lot of people would not care about it. However, when it comes to technical performance and issues and glitches and things in that vein, I think it's weird to just dismiss it. One thing I did not like about Scarlet and Violet people who just were positive about it, and I can't call you a liar, but they will look you in the eye and say, well, on my file in my playthrough, I had no performance drops, no technical issues, no frame rate or collision detection. My character didn't get deform or start T-posing. Like, it ran perfectly smooth. I am a little skeptical. I don't fully believe it. I just think that maybe what you cared about outweighed the little stutters and things that you saw. However, I had to check myself when I had that thought. You want to know why? Skyward Sword. I remember people complaining that Skyward Sword's Wii Motion Plus back in 2011 was not working properly. I did not have a single issue with my sensor bar and Wii Motion Plus, to the point where I thought it was a little too precise. Like if my hand was drooping a little bit, like Link's wrist would like limp, just like my wrist when I was just sitting down playing. So I'm like, you know what? I might have to believe like 6% of Scarlet and Violet players pretty much had a seamless, smooth experience with probably nothing but pop-in and frame rate dropped, like the windmill and stuff like that. But I don't think it's okay to excuse those things. You deserve to get a full, finished, fully cooked product, not underbaked, that needs to go back in the oven or patched later. And this is something that I don't excuse anything with. I'm very consistent when it comes to this. I don't want no day one patch that fixed everything or patch later. I don't like what Cyberpunk did or No Man's Sky I'm thinking of, Sonic 06, Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. Like, if you put out a half-baked game, I'm just coming for you. I don't like that. Keep it in-house, work on it more and fix it. Don't release it But I don't like the idea that you just put it out and be like, fuck it, like see if we can trick some people into buying it. So to me, that's not very cool, and I just wanted to kind of mention that because actually, part of the reason I think I feel so strongly about Sonic Boom is, this is kind of a tangent, Sonic Boom's the last game that I've ever bought that I didn't like. That was in 2014. I have not bought. That game tricked me so badly. I've been so skeptical and used a discerning eye for everything that I'm looking at. And I've never, ever, ever since that day purchased a game that I did not like. I'm not going to say I've played games I didn't like, but with my own money, oh, no. Never made that mistake again. But I think it's time for us to kind of wrap up this conversation and kind of just bring it home, bring it full circle, and wrap it in a nice, neat bow. I am no longer a Pokemon fan or passing enthusiast, which is what I called myself in the first part of this video. If you haven't seen it, you should watch that before watching this, but I don't think it's 100% necessary. You can probably get the gist of what was going on in that video. I also want to thank everybody who came through, who's going to support moving forward, who subscribed, who commented, who had nice things to say, who had good commentary and things that made this dialogue and discourse cool. I really feel like we found some commonality and overlap, and I was able to put down the drawbridge so we can find some, common ground, so to speak, even though I said that already. I am a monster tamer fan more than I am a Pokemon fan. So when I see a good creature collection game, I just want to play it. Kindred Fates looks really good to me, though I don't know when that's coming out. Sky Mill Studios, get it together. I thought Power World was fun for what I played, but again, not for me. I did my best with Temtem, but I think some of the online elements, I really think if Temtem could remove the online elements, scale back how many tamers you have to fight, remove all that micro online shit, and then just kind of streamline it into like a base normal game, I think I could have more fun with that one. I still think we need to kind of look at Pokemon with a more discerning eye. I think we need to kind of hold their feet to the fire more, and I do hope and pray that for you guys things can get better. I don't believe that it will. I think they can kind of just do the bare minimum and get away with it, but I'm ultimately glad I didn't just spew out hate which I wanted to do originally. I just wanted to come rip Pokemon fans and community a new asshole and just be mean and as divisive as possible. I know how it feels to have that done to you, and I felt like if I really want to understand what's going on here, I need to extend my hand so someone will grab it, I can pull them up, and then we can speak instead of just yelling at you, because that'll just go like in one ear out the other, and y'all will probably just yell back, and then we're just having a screaming match where everyone's waiting for their turn, but nobody is particularly listening. So play Coromon, play Cassette Beast. Please look out for the Cassette Beast video, and I just implore you to try a bunch of different creature collection monster tamer games. And just to correct one other comment that I saw, I was not making a critique or criticism or coming at Pokemon Legends ZA in particular. I know that it's the new game that came out, and thus I used it as a launch pad, as a springboard to have this larger conversation about everything that was going on. I wanted to do that. I think I'll save making the little video where I show you guys multiple monster tamers in one video for later down the line instead of doing it in this one. I think we've said enough and pack this with enough content and stuff. Plus it's a follow-up to another video. I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, so to speak. But thank you guys for listening. Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. I think that video is going to be what helps this channel kind of take its next step. So come along for the ride with me. I have a bunch of interest, from anime to manga to games, webtoons, donghua, sports, music, life. It doesn't matter. I'm very, 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 very versatile, and I think you guys will find that out in due time. But again, if you're here already, go check out some of the other videos. There might be a topic or a subject, some subject matter that you think is very interesting or intriguing to you. And I think I've been cooking with this channel in particular. So I'm signing off. Again, I can't say that I'm a Pokemon guy. I'm kind of done, but if there was one thing I'd like to be wrong about, is that, Game Freak. Slice. Another side note. I'm sorry. I'm so bad. Beast of Reincarnation. Yo, that's what they're doing over there? Yo, so you guys had that in your bag, and this is what you're doing with Pokemon. You guys are robbing Pokemon fans to fund your game. That's crazy. Slight joke. I obviously don't know if that's true or not. But anyways, I'm out of here. Y'all be safe.